For many Novocastrians, it's part of the morning ritual, a flick through the paper to see what Lewis will come up with today. An accomplished artist, he's been the resident cartoonist at the Newcastle Herald since 1986. 29 years. How many cartoons? Do you even know?
I would speculate that it's about 9,500.
And every one of them has started the same way, with a spark of inspiration.
It's the idea, everything is about the idea. And that takes time. It might take a microsecond. It might take 4 or 5 hours.
Local issues are his main fodder, Newcastle's train line debate and the recent shark scares among the standouts. Politicians come under close and frequent scrutiny, like Mike Baird.
No, Mike is actually a problem because he is too nice looking. Ugly people are easy.
Tony Abbott.
Oh, he's just a gift that keeps on giving. I mean, he reminds me of a monkey. I hate to say it, but most people remind me of different animals.
But Julia Gillard was his favourite.
She came in one day and I was introduced to her before I even knew what was happening. I was standing there with a coffee cup in my hand. And so I had nothing. I should have just said, "Oh, very nice to meet you," and walked off. Yep. But instead I engaged in conversation, and she said, talked about the way people draw her nose. And like an idiot, I followed that line of conversation.
Peter Lewis readily admits his cartoons push boundaries and readers' buttons, but that's the whole point.
When you're doing cartoons, you don't want to swim between the flags all the time. You want to really push it out a bit. Because sometimes society gets things wrong, and the social commentator's job is to look outside society and look back at society and say, well, I think this is not quite right.
It can be controversial work. The recent Charlie Hebdo shooting in Paris cast a shadow on the role of cartoonists. Peter Lewis says it was a tragedy, but not altogether a surprise.
I wouldn't do a cartoon like the Charlie Hebdo cartoons. I'm not a person who offends just for the sake of it. In fact, I'm not really a person who enjoys insulting or offending people. I prefer to use humour as a means of engagement.
Chad Watson is the 11th editor Peter has worked with at the Herald.
I'm going to get him talking, mate.
He says Peter's cartoons make a unique and important contribution.
Peter is a fine illustrator, but I think his best gift is his insightfulness. With a few brushstrokes and a carefully plotted line, Lewis can get to the heart of a matter that is often quite complex.
Peter Lewis has a signature style, and careful readers have noticed a common character emerge over the years. Romeo, based on his real-life dog.
I started adding him just out of boredom one day, but everybody liked the dog, and so I'm sort of stuck with him now.
And just in case you're wondering, he really can draw anyone.
Just slightly off centre.
Like that?
Yeah, that's good.
Yep,
okay.
Is that better?
Done.
I'll have a look. Oh wow, that's great. You've made me look younger. I like that.